textbook, we don't factor if the coefficients are not integer. Usually we stop factoring until we get the coefficients integer. Who can tell me how to factor m squared minus 2? It is m minus the square root of 2 multiplied by m plus the square root of 2. You can write it like that. Even m minus 2, do you know that you can even factor m minus 2? Yeah. But we don't factor this way in this course because we are working with polynomials. If we factor this, are we going to have a polynomial? By the way, it is m minus square root of 2 times square root of m plus square root of 2. In fact, this is true also. This is what we call it the conjugate. We will take this next section in P7, how to do multiplying by the conjugate. Now let's go to the second part of this section, which is factoring trinomials. You know what we mean by trinomials? Who remind me about it? Trinomials, when we have a polynomial of 3 terms. Okay, it is a polynomial with 3 terms, or just the sum of 3 monomials. Okay. Now how to factor, ya shabab? This is the standard form. The standard form of trinomials, polynomials of degree 3, of degree 2. It is this one. Now the question is how to factor this, how to write it as a product of 2 factors or more. If there is a GCF, we will factor it out. If there is no, let me start with the easier case, ya shabab. X squared plus bx plus c. Now we will consider a equals to what? To 1. This is the easier way, the simpler one. So this is called the simpler, the simple trinomial. Now my target is to write it as a product of 2 factors. Because x squared, it is just x times x. This is not difficult. Now I'm looking for 2 numbers. Let's say مثلا r and s, such that if I multiply them, what I will get? X by x, x squared. X by s, it will be sx. R by x, it will be rx. R by s, it will be rs. Now let's simplify more. Now it will be x squared plus, take x as a common factor here, plus rs. Now if you compare, ya shabab, between this bx and this, what is rs? C. What is r plus s? It is b. So in fact, when you have something like this, you are looking for 2 numbers. For 2 numbers, the product of them is c, and the sum of them is what? B. Let me give you this example. X squared plus 5x plus 6 equals to what? -1 and 6. We will look for 2 numbers. The product of them is 6, and the sum of them is what? 5. For x squared, it is not difficult. It is x times x. So what are the numbers? 2 and 3. X plus 2 times x plus 3. You can check if you are right or not. X by x, x squared. 3x plus 2x, it is 5x. Positive 3 by positive 3, it is by positive 2, it is positive 6.
What if I have a different number than 1?
We will come to that. Yes, this is called, of course, the trinomial that is not simple or direct. We will come to that after understanding this. What about if it is x squared minus 5x plus 6? It will be x minus 2 times x minus 3. Is that right?
No. One of them should be minus.
Are you sure?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Now, ya shabab, here we have product. The product is positive and the sum is positive. So both are positive. Now here the product is positive. So what? The product is positive. So both must be positive or negative. But since the sum is negative, we have agreed, ya shabab, that the sum will be the coefficient of x. So now you can check, by the way, do whatever you want, and you can check. By the way, this method, it is called the trial and error. We will see that. Now, what do we have here, shabab, to check? X times x is x squared. Negative 2 by negative 3, it is positive 6. Now, when you check x by negative 3, negative 3x. Negative 2 by x, it is negative 2x. The sum is negative 5x. So it is clear. It is a game, like a game here. When you have x plus 2 times x minus 3, what it will be? X squared minus x minus 6. So now if you have x squared minus x minus 6, this is how to factor. So let me now ask you this: x squared plus x minus 6. How to factor it? It will be x times x. It will be
1 plus 1.
minus 2 plus 3. So what we learn from this, ya shabab, if the product is negative, one of them is positive, one of them is negative. They have opposite signs. If the who will be positive, who will be negative? The bigger sum, we need the sum to be negative. So the bigger one will be negative. Here it is 2 and 3, the bigger one is 3, so it is the negative one. Here the bigger one will be positive. So if they have different signs, the bigger sum, the bigger product will be the sign of the middle term. Okay, now this is easy when you have prime numbers. It is not that direct when you have composite numbers. Let me give you this easy also example. What we have here, shabab, x squared plus 7 plus 7x plus 12. What is that?
3 and 4.
X plus 3 times x plus 4. You're right. So it is not that difficult. You are looking for two numbers. The product of them is 12 and the sum of them is 7. We have another method here that is called, it is not another method indeed. It is just another way to write the trial and error. By the way, I want to show you the name here. I wrote it here. Look, they call this method, shabab, by trial and error, because you will try. If it doesn't work, you will try another one. So here we are. This is how to check the multiplication. Let me show you this. How to check now. X by x, it is x squared. Positive 3 by positive 4, it is positive 12. And now multiply 3x and add it with 4x. So it will be 3x plus 4x, which is of course 7x. What is good that you can always check by multiplying. This is what we did already, ya shabab. Now look here, when we have x squared minus 2x minus 3. Again, the idea is so easy. You will open two brackets. Because the coefficient of x squared is 1, it is x times x. Think about two numbers. The product of them is negative 3. The sum of them is negative 2. Negative 3 and positive 1. The product is negative 3 and the sum is negative 2. So here we are. You can check your solution. Excellent. Is it a problem, ya shabab, if we look here what I wrote x plus 1 times x minus 3. Here it is x minus 3 times x plus 1. The multiplication is commutative. It is the same. No problem at all. What is the name of this method? Trial and error. Why it is called trial and error? Because you may say x plus 3 times x minus 1 by mistake. Yes, positive 3 and negative 1. The product of them is negative 3, but the sum of them is positive 2, not negative 2. Okay? So you should check, try, then check. If there is an error, change your choice. Now, who can tell me how to solve B? Expand first. Good idea. Is it a good idea, by the way? It is a very bad idea here. Why? Let me. What is the question here, Shabab? So you need to factor. You need the answer at the end. When he asks you to factor, the answer at the end should be product of factors. This is factoring. So don't think about that when you from the beginning. Yes.
We can substitute.
How to do that?
By a plus 1. We can substitute it like x.
Excellent. You did it.
X squared,
Yes.
2x minus 3.
Excellent, ya shabab. Don't be afraid when you see some complicated expressions like this. It is about the fundamental principle in mathematics. What is it? The principle of substitution. So in fact, believe it or not, this question is as easy as this. Yes, just put this Because you have it here and here, put it as x. And here we are, it is the same. So to solve this one, but you have to mention here what is x. What is your x? 5a plus 1. Now this will be what, ya shabab? X minus 3 times x plus 1. Now what is your x? Return it back, substitute back. 5a plus 1 minus 3 times 5a plus 1 minus plus 1 plus 1. Now this will be what? Now simplify inside the factor. When you are inside the factor, simplify. 5a minus times 5a plus 2. Can we do more? This is 25a squared minus 4. But unfortunately, this is not factoring. You are right. You are right. It is correct, not wrong, but it is not factoring. Yes, don't do that. Halas, it is about factoring. Stop here. Factor, write the final answer as a product of factors. Don't continue simplifying, even if you can.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it possible to get 5a as a common factor or not?
Here from the beginning.
No, from the end.
Here.
It's on the different brackets. It says in one.
Wait a minute. You want here to take 5a as a common factor?
Yes.
So you need to revise how to factor out the common factor. We take the common factor when we have two terms. You have two terms and there is a common factor between them. Here we have a factor multiplied by a factor. Okay? If it was like 5a squared plus 5a, now there is a common factor. You have a term here and a term here. There is a common factor between them. By the way, in the previous class, one of your colleagues, he said, why we didn't take this as a common factor here? It is not a common factor between the three terms. It is between the, why you didn't take x here as a common factor? So when you have three terms and you want to factor out a common factor, it should be a common factor between the three terms. What else? So what we learn from this example, Shabab? When you understand this and you see it, it is easy. So it is easy for any expression if you put instead of x. So it is about whatever squared minus 2, whatever, it is minus 3. It is the same. It will be that whatever minus 3 multiplied by that whatever plus 1. Okay. Let me go now to the case when the coefficient of x squared is not what? Is not 1. It is in general a for instance. So what we will do, our target is still the same, ya shabab. Our target will be, we have ax squared plus bx plus c. I want to write it as a product of two factors. Now I want to see, let's keep the same notation, r and s. So the product of r and s is c. Now a, let's say that a, it is b times q, and this is x times x. Now we need to write it as a product of this. If you did the multiplication, Shabab, this by this and this by this, then this one by this one, you will get this. So now if you compare, what is rs? Rs is c. bq is what? I think I did write it here. It is here. I did mention it here. Look. bq, it is a, and rs is c, and the sum of the products is b. So the idea is quite similar to what we did before, but with one extra step and one more work. Let's take this example. Usually we can use the X method or the scissor method, as some of you they call it, to check the multiplication. Here you multiply, then you will cross add the product. Let's think about, let me start with easier one. I don't want to start with this one. Let me start with 2x squared with the prime numbers. 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. How to factor this? Let me show you my method. Please, ya Shabab, wake up, please. There is one sleepy there. Hello, wake up, ya Shabab. Now, it is about writing this as a product of two factors. Now 2x squared, we are lucky here. 2 is a prime number, so it is just 2 times 1. So it is 2x times x. This is the only option. We don't have other options. Now for 3 also, this is 3. Also it is prime number, so it is 1 times. The problem here, it could be here 1 and here 3, or here 3 and here 1. So this is why they call it trial and error. Now we are lucky also because both signs are positive. So both numbers are what? So positive. Now it is about what, ya shabab? It is about 2x plus 1 times x plus 3, or it could be 2x plus 3 times x plus 1. So what do you think? Which one is the right one? By trial and error. So one way is to use the x method or the scissor method, or you can do it mentally, Shabab. Here, look, for the first term by this one and this one by this one, it is easy. 2x by x, it is 2x squared. 1 by 3 is 3. Now what you need to focus on is this with the last one plus this with the which is the last with the last, and of course the inner with the inner. Now here you will have x, and here you have 6. 6 plus 1, 7. So this is not what we want. It is not this one. This is what we want. And you can do it here. Look how this is 2x. This is x. This is 3 plus 3. This is plus 1. Now when you multiply, look, 2x by x, 2x squared. When you multiply here, positive 3 by positive 1, positive 3. Now plus 3x plus 3x plus 1 by 2, it will be plus 2x. Now this will be what? 5x plus 5x. Now if it is 2x squared minus I don't know, it will be minus what? Let me show you how the trick, how we did it, ya Shabab, how we play it. We play it like this: 2x plus 3 times x minus 1. What it will be? This will be the factors of what? 2x squared, and here we will have minus 3. In the middle we will have what? Plus x. Is that right?
Yes.
Minus 3. Now if you want to factor this, you will do it in the same way. You will look for two numbers, the product of them is negative 3, and the sum of them, of course, after multiplying by 2 is a positive 1. So now look, positive 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, and negative 2 plus 3, it is 1. Now I think you can, Shabab, solve this one. 6x squared plus 7x minus 5. Here 6 is not a prime, so there are many possibilities for 6. 6 can be what, ya Shabab? 2 times 3, 6 times 1, negative 1 times negative 6, negative 2 times negative 3.
So we can use unprime numbers. I can say 6x
Times,
x.
yes, why not? Yes. This is why it is called trial and error. Now, let's solve it. I will solve it for you, and I will give you another one in the next slide. Do we have time? Yes, we do. Now, what we will do, Shabab, let me show you how I do solve such a problem. And you can follow this way, or you can use your own way. For me, I used to use this, open 2 brackets. And now I will fix what is easy. What is easier here, 6 or 5? 5. So I will put the 1 here and the 5 here. So this is 1 times 5. There is no other options, okay? Now the product is negative, so it means that one of them is positive, one of them is negative. Let me take this to be positive, this to be negative, and if it doesn't work, I will change. This is why we call it trial and error. Now 6x squared, akid it is x times x for x squared, but 6 it could be what? It could be 2 times 3 or 3 times 2 or 6 times 1, 1 times 6. Let me try with the smaller here and the bigger here, and I will see if I'm lucky it works. If it is not, I will do the reverse the order. Now let's check what, ya Shabab, just the middle term, just the middle term. This times this and this times this, and add. What we will have here? Negative 10x, and here plus 3x. What is the result? Unfortunately, this is positive. So what I will change? Just I want this to be positive and this one to be negative. It works. Now for sure it is correct. This will be positive, this will be negative. You can use this method that I show you here. I did use it here for you. Here it is. Now this will be a factor. This will be the second factor. There is a third way, a different method. I don't know if you are aware about it or not, but I noticed that many students, they like it. They use it. Let me show you what is it. طبعا again يا شباب, you can check by multiplying. So errors are not accepted here. The another way يا شباب is what? You wish if this is 1. It will be easier if this is 1. Okay, so what you will do, you will multiply 6 by -5. So you will use the X method or the scissor method. You multiply 6 by -5. What is it? -30. What is the middle term? The coefficient of the middle term? +7. Now you will look for two numbers. The product of them is -30 and the sum of them is +7. What they are? -3 and +10. Now what you will do, you will divide them by what? By 6. And then simplify. 10 over 6, it is just 5 over 3. -3 over 6, it is -1 over 2. Now, what you will do here now, you will write just what is in the denominator, 3 multiplied by x plus 5. And what do you have here? 2 in the denominator, x minus 1. Now, these are the factors that you are looking for.
Minus 30 and 7, what we should do with it?
Let's repeat it with another example, and you will understand more. Just multiply. It is another technique, by the way. It is a technique that can help you. You may use it, you may not. It is not. Yes, it works, but there is a problem. The problem, if you have the product here, a bigger number. Usually, when this is a number and the number, it will be a bigger number. But it is what is good about it. You don't should worry about what is the coefficient, what is the combination of the product in between. Just you need the product of them is to be this one and the sum to be this one. Let me give you another exercise. We did solve these, Shabab. I mentioned the ideas here. Solve the first one. Factor 4y squared minus 11y plus 6. During that, I will pause the recording and take the attendance. So check your answer now, Shabab. Here it is. It is y minus 2 times 4y minus 3. You can check your answer. You can check if it is right or not. So how to do it, ya Shabab, in the another way? It is about what? The another way that I told you about? You will multiply 4 by 6. It is what? Positive 24. Now write here the middle term. Right here, negative 11. Now look for two numbers. The product of them is 24 and the sum of them is negative. So they are what? Negative 8 and negative 3. Now divide them by what? By 4, not by 6, by the coefficient of y squared. Now simplify here, what you will get? Negative 2 over 1. You should have a fraction like this. And here it is the same. No more simplification. Now the factor from here will be what? 1x minus 2, and the factor from here will be what? 4x minus 3. By the way, it is y, not x. The same error. Yes, which is the same. But I have noticed, ya Shabab, that you can use this method, by the way, in a short one without using the x here, the x method. It is what? You have 4y squared, but be careful. I noticed that some of you, they did mistake when they apply this way. It is the same one, but in a different way, in a different writing way. So they write this was y squared minus 11y plus 24. It is the same, look what we did, but don't write here, Shabab, equals. If you write that this equals to this is wrong. Am I right? It is not. It is not equal. So don't write equal. If you want to use, stop here. And this is another thing that you are working on, not related to what you did before. It is not equals to. Now you will write it here as what? Y minus 3 times y minus 8, as we did here. Look, two numbers, the product of them is 24 and the sum of them is negative 11. Now, this equals to this, by the way. This is equals to this. But now, what we will do, we will divide by what? Again, if you divide by 4, it is not equal. Don't write equals. So this is a technique. It is not step. It is not an algorithm. The first step is equals to the second step. No. Now, let me continue. Now, this will be equals. This equals to what is after. Now, what it will be? Y minus 3 over 4. And this will be, of course, let me write it this way. Usually, we divide just this one, the coefficients, by 4. And here we will have y minus 2. Okay. Now you will multiply, make it a single fraction. It will be 4y minus 3 times y minus 2, which is the same. So the idea here, what is good about this method, it is not, you will not get confused who is equal to which. So if you write here equals, it is not equal. If you write here equals, it is not equal because you are dividing by 4. So write this without equals, but of course this step is equals to this step and that one equals to that one. So you can do it in many ways, Shabab, but the idea is check your answer at the end, whatever you did, check the answer. Be careful about something before the end of the time. Look at C. Who can factor C?
You can take 6, 8 as a common factor.
Always. First, you should factor out the common factor. So first, you have to factor the common factor. There is a common factor here. What is it?
8.
And you should factor the greatest common factor. 16 and 24 and 16. What is the greatest common factor? 8. Y to the power 3, y to the power 2, y. Now what is remaining? 2, y to the power 2 plus 3y minus 2. Check that you did factor in the right way or not. Now you have a trinomial here. You can now think about factoring out this trinomial. How to factor it out, Shabab?
The other way.
You can use any method you want. So let's use the method that you prefer. Y squared plus 3y minus 4. But this is not equals to this, Shabab. This is something just to a technique to do. Now what we will do here, we will write it as what? Y minus 4, and here y plus 1. Is that right? Plus 4 minus 1. Now it is correct. Is that right? Then you will divide this by what? By 2. So it will be what? Y plus 2 times y minus a half, which is what? Y plus 2 times 2y minus 1. So in fact, where is the 2? It disappeared. So this is not equals to that exactly. The same here. It is not equals as we did before. So this is why I don't prefer this way. I prefer this way because it is systematical way. Now we will do what? The product of these two is negative 4. And here we have 3. Think about two numbers. The product of them is negative 3 and the sum of them negative 1 and positive 4. Divide now by 4. Simplify. So it will be here, from here. Y plus 1 multiplied by, here what you have? 4y minus 1. Is that right?
No, we divide by 4.
You divide by 2, not by 4. We should divide by 2, not by 4. So this will be what? 2 over 1. And here it is correct now. Now it is 1y by 2. And of course here it is 2y minus 1. And don't forget that you have 8y here outside. Yes.
Because can I use the mental way?
Whatever the way, what
But
you-
it
it is-
would be one step.
yes, look at the solution. It is one step. So it is just the necessary step. Most importantly, it should be right. Okay, and if you use this method, make sure that you are not doing the equality in a wrong way. When you say equals to, be careful. So I don't advise you to use this Shabab, in the written solutions at all. Use it in the margin of the page just to check or to obtain how to do that.
Okay, so the quiz tomorrow will be.
Tomorrow is the exam, right?
Not the exam, the quiz.
The quiz